Okay, good evening. This afternoon I went to the protest demonstration in front of the Department of Education building in Washington, D.C. It's near the mall. And I can show you where it is on the map. It would be right here. And here's the Federal Center um, Southwest metro stop, and then over here is somewhere is L'Enfant Plaza, and then you swing over to um, Federal Triangle and Metro Center. Um, and let's just go through a few of the other pictures. The go down here, got some stills of the of the protesters. Looks like I took the same thing several times. That's the building. That last one was actually the HHS building, which is where the AIDS stuff might be moved from CDC, according to another story. That's another story going on. Tobacco, I like that. I just like tobacco-free zone. And I sent a tweet to Elon Musk today. I'll just talk about this a little bit before we get to the protest. There was a case where in court where Elon was told, or Doge was told that they couldn't continue sniffing at individual accounts at Social Security, and the head, I think, Leland Dobson, was that his name, said we might have to shut everything down if you can't, and ought to appeal the court ruling. But I have 35 years of work experience in IT, and the claim was that all the IT workers would have been regarded as Doge workers or something. It was kind of silly, but in the workplace, when you you can have access to PII of individual customers for work purposes only, but you can't use it for your own purposes. You can only, it has to stay in the building, stay on the equipment that it was on, even if it's at home. If you're working from home, you can only use it in a secure channel and only what's necessary to do the work. You can't use it for personal purposes. You can't keep a record of it for yourself. So it's long-standing and working in information technology. When people do production support, like running cycles at night, that they have to, but they have to follow certain rules and looking at actual live data of individual customers. I talked about that in my third book. I think it was on page, it actually had something to do with my transfer to Minneapolis in 1997, because I was going to work on gays in the military in my book, and the company was involved in selling life insurance to military officers, a lot of other things. But I wanted to be as far away from that as possible to avoid the appearance of a problem like this. So I discussed it, I think it's on page 87, in the third of my books. So if Elon had read that book, he might have known how to handle this. But let me get back to and show you the videos. First of all, the here's the one on the Sony camera, the ZV-1.
Look at all these beautiful people around us and say, we are not stopping. All right, so let's keep this up. Let's fight for education. Let's fight for our country. Let's fight for science, research, healthcare, all that is well and good in this country, and let's fight and win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. All right. Running back.
and that's the still from it. Then let me go and show you the. I took 4 very short videos of. The last one's maybe the most interesting. And the casual camera. Okay, that one wasn't. This one's longer. The protests at that's the Department of Education building.
My name is Frances Goodmaker. I'm Professor Emerita from Teachers College, Columbia University. Not be the next entrepreneurial frontier. If we think for 1 minute, and we don't, we've made that very clear today, but if we think for 1 minute, this is about efficiency. It's about more money for people who already have it. We have a precious resource in our public schools. I grew up in a little farm community in western Oklahoma. I had parents who were teachers, and they knew what to do to make sure I had a good education. But not all of our children of the poor are in families who know how to support them. And without the resources that are provided by the Department of Education, many of them would have very
This one.
Work on television, we work on mutual aid. We work on adolescents. So we have an upcoming unit on April 13th that you can find on our Sunrise Mobilize website. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, all the other social medias. But yeah, we invite you to join us, and thank you so much for being here. Now, all of us are here today, and that is awesome, to be clear. But raise your hands if you think that this 150 of us is going to be able to save public education on our own. No.
Students
Raise
versus
your hand if you
billionaires.
believe that we need to build
Okay. And this last one at the Department of Education, I tried to do is another short, and I let the phone on, and I forgot to turn it off, so I had to copy it onto this. But listen to them chant here. This is right in front of the Department of Education. Sorry for the riffraff right at the very beginning. That's fine. Bring myself back here. Yeah, I don't generally go and I don't like the idea of being recruited for other people's fights. And when it's not as clear as you think it is what's right. And I don't like to let like other nonprofits speak for me. I do my own speaking for myself. This is very important to my reputational identity, as I explained the last time. That's not very negotiable. But yeah, so these were the protests at the Department of Education today, and this afternoon there was other protests this morning, and yeah, this is another. Congress would have to actually approve of abolishing it, but it does look like it's going to be much smaller, and it might go away and be folded into other things. So that was the thing I did this afternoon in downtown DC. Again, that's very close to where the Air and Space Museum is, which is across Independence Avenue on the other side of the building at the Department of Education. So again, thank you for watching.